that's the toxic side of Toke. Like that's just how I am. Like, and I don't know, when that happens, I tend to kind of like, I drift away. I kind of just like ghost a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the worst way. If you guys are listening to this, is the worst way to do it. But like, I just kind of like, I'm gone. Like, yeah, I'll say the nice things. I'll do a few nice things towards the end. You'll start seeing I'll probably just like add a few, and then I'm kind of like, I'm out. Like,
okay, you're fucking and ducking. All right, next.
If you're saying it like that, then yes, I'm trying to be generous about it. Well, you were trying. I was trying to let someone take my spot after I was done.
Next, they're off you.
This could get interesting. Know you get money. Well, how are you spending it? Is it your passion or is it about Benjamins? Is it about cash or the fact that you didn't quit? Talk to me. Let's sip on some wine. Discussion about future, the past, and the grind. What's an excuse when it's last on your mind? I love what you do. May I ask for your time?
Talk to me.
Welcome to the Talk to Me podcast. I'm your host, Don Worm. As you can see, we got Marcina in the building and Toke in the building. How y'all feeling? I'm up.
Chilling.
How you feeling, Merce?
Chilling like a villain up in Tampa. I've been out and about for a few weeks, celebrating my girl's bachelorette, my girl's birthday. Had a couple girls visit me this past weekend, which was a lot of fun. I love having people visit me in Tampa. It feels like I live here, but it's like a vacation when people visit me because I start taking them to like spots I haven't been to.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like exploring.
Sounds like
the city
vacation
with
for
them.
you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once I have people back to back, then I'm like, all right, hold on, because I'm spending a lot of bread.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But it's nice, it's super nice having people visit me and, exploring the city. And it's so funny because every single person that comes are like, oh, I didn't even know Tampa was like this. Like, it's actually, I'm going to consider moving here to the city. And Don was one of the first people to say that because he came to Tampa.
I've never been to Tampa.
Bruh.
So what's your first thing you think of, Toke, when you think of like Tampa? Like, what do you think is down here?
I hate to say it like this, but like swampy.
See?
Like, I don't know why. Like, I'm thinking of like, what was it, the Everglades? But that's like in Orlando or something like that. But like
We do have that.
Yeah, so a lot of, that one of my best friends, he lives there, and I'm thinking of like, what was it, alligators that they got over there, or crocodiles or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do technically. And Dom's first view of it was like Outer Banks, and I was like, that's not it.
No, that's not it. No.
Till he came, but yeah, no, I love having people over, and it was fun. We did brunch, we did kayaking in the river, in the channel, and stuff like that. So it was good. What about you, Dom?
Yeah, y'all went to a few spots. I was waiting to see if we would bump into the same spots. Like we went to Ybor. Did y'all go to Ybor at all?
We went on Thursday. Yeah.
Y'all went like that? Okay, that strip, because it gives me a Louisiana vibe or New Orleans vibe. That
New Orleans. That's exactly what I said, because I've been to like Bourbon Street. Yeah.
Oh, I ain't never been. That's crazy.
I've been there twice. It's a lot. It's a lot.
The city finally opened up, so like you can just go in there with no mask and just do whatever the hell you want. So I had a long day Saturday and a long day Sunday of just trying to recuperate and drink as much water and sleep as I could to get ready for Monday. So that was like my weekend all in a nutshell.
Thanks.
What about you, Toke?
Yeah, speaking of like, the city finally being open, like, people are out. I got invited to go to Echo Stage, which I've never been to in my life. Yeah, exactly. Like on some, like fist pump, like that
type. What you wear?
I wore like just a basic t-shirt, some like gym shorts, and like, and a bandana. I just had like a bag to make sure like I had my phone and stuff like that, but nothing crazy, just in case if I wanted to shuffle a little bit, I could do, got a little movement on my ankles.
Can you shuffle, Toke?
Hell no.
I could pretend. I could try. Well, yeah, so I've never been to Echo Stage, and it was already kind of a slight issue in the beginning. Not issue, but like we were just like okay, so my best friend Joey, he's going to the military. He's going to boot camp in a month. So he's gonna be gone. He's going to the Navy, all that stuff. Congratulations, Joey, if you're hearing this. But yeah, so my other boy was like, hey, like a lot of people's going to Echo Stage. I want to get like a going away gift for Joey. So let me go ahead and buy him an Echo Stage, ticket. I'm gonna bring you two, so it'll be like kind of like a celebration. We all can have fun. And I was like, that's bad. That's rap. Like, that's cool. I'm down for that. And so I didn't know much about it. So a couple of my boys were on my Discord, we're talking, and then they end up telling me about like their experience with Echo Stage, and it's not very good. They're basically saying it's horrible. It's the worst thing. Like, I don't like that type of music, things like that, all that stuff. I will tell you that I like hip hop. I like that type of music. Like, I'm not really an Echo Stage type of music. Like, I'll listen. It was Zed. Like, I don't know if you know who Zed is. Yeah. So
Leppin or some shit.
Zed, no. Zed, like the artist, he's a DJ. But anyways,
Zed Leppin is somebody though.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
that's not even close.
Hey, shout out to Zed Zeppelin and shit. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Led Zeppelin. But no, anyways, exactly. So you don't even really know the music like that either. So like, I'll go there and I just know like there's a beat drop. It's just whatever, blah blah blah. I'm thinking of like, okay, there's gonna probably be like joints there, and like everyone, like, everyone's just gonna be vibing. It's gonna be fun. Like, it's just gonna be a light show, all that stuff. So I'm thinking of that too.
Yeah.
Mine that I did not know, and it's nothing against it. I have no problem with it. But like I said, I'm ready. My intention is to expect a lot of women there. It's Pride Month, and we're literally in like the northeast side of DC, which is DC is the number one like Pride like community in like the whole world. San Francisco was like, I thought it was San Francisco for years, but it's DC.
Is it really DC? I didn't know
DC.
that.
It's DC. And like I said, it was the first night that everything is opened up and all this stuff. This was like an event for the Pride community to go to this thing. Yeah, and I did not know that, so I'm going into it with the expectation of a lot of women. There was like 75 men, 25 women.
No,
women.
It was 50-50. Chill before we get canceled. They women too, man. Come on now.
No. I'm saying there was way more men than women. There was 75% men, 25% women. I know what I'm saying, bro. Don't play me. And so, like, it's not like I wasn't uncomfortable. It was just the fact that like I'm there, I'm kicking it.
Yeah,
and then,
it hit you out of nowhere.
It just is out of nowhere. Like I'm coming out of the bathroom, and like my boy Joey is over here to the left side of like where the entrance is, and then like the right side is where like the whole floor is at, and that's where all my homies are. I walk outside, there's like probably like 20 shirtless men in a group, and they're like piled up in this area where I had to go through. And I'm thinking in my head, I was like, either go through or I'm gonna have to take a right and I have to go through the stairs and go downstairs or go to the left. And I'll just like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to just wait until I'm gonna have to ask somebody to come and just like scoop me up or something like that. So I'm just
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, it was still fun all in all, but it just was a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sounds like you had a crazy weekend. No, I'm glad you brought that up. And it is Pride Month, so happy Pride Month, Pride Week to everyone celebrating. It really is like a big community getting together, not just, the LGBTQ plus community, but like the straights who support it and stuff. Like I went to a drag brunch, not this past weekend, the weekend before, and we, it was an amazing time. And these fire trucks came by and they were waving like the flag, the Pride flag, and it's good to see the community come together. But I do understand that, they do have hard times. Like there's a, good example. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nikita Dragon. She posted today, she kind of, I guess, screen recorded this guy. And the guy she was screen recorded, I thought it was a random guy. He has like 2.5 million followers. He's like an influencer, like digital media type guy. And he basically recorded her leaving the club with like two guys. And on his next story, he's like trying to warn the security guards, like, y'all know that's a dude, right? Like, that's the dude. And, continuing, Nikita was expressing her like feelings about it. And she's stating like, this is how trans people die. Like, trans women are women at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And, who are they to say that to another person? Like, it should be her business. Yeah. Everything she does is her business, not anyone else's. So, there have been stories back in the day where a straight guy will go on a date with a trans woman. And I don't know, someone told me it was from Virginia Tech. I don't know 100%, but it's like after they kissed, then she said that she was a trans woman, and he ended up killing her.
It was a it was a football player. He was a linebacker for Virginia Tech, and he went on a date with a transgender, and did not know and found out and actually killed him.
Killed her. Yeah.
Killed her. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I literally just recently heard that story like a couple of days ago.
Oh,
Right.
So I don't know how recent that is, but it's just. Let me actually look. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mercedes, my fault.
No, you're fine. It's just, I know we remember situations like this, and there was even a situation in Puerto Rico, wasn't it? Like maybe a few months ago, 6 months ago, where a guy was killed because he was wearing a skirt. I don't know if you guys heard about that, and that's what Bad Bunny kind of showed on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
When he performed. He was wearing a skirt, just kind of bringing awareness to those situations where, people from the LGBTQ community, they get killed for just being themselves, which is not okay. Which is why I enjoy Pride Month. I'm glad it's celebrated in every city and cities that celebrate it. But then you have on the other end people who don't support it. And, me living in Florida, it's kind of hard. Like, we just got news that our governor here, he has signed this like law where trans women are not allowed to play in girls sports clubs. And he said, I want to keep it equal, equality, and keep the justice, and just trans women are not allowed to play because it's unfair.
All right. Okay.
It's a weird topic. And overall, I mean,
that's a tough one though.
That's a tough one in my opinion too. I mean, like, I'm not opposed to any of that. I just feel like, one is a generational thing. It's something that like it's definitely is gradually being accepted in our society.
Yes.
And so I the whole sports aspect of things, I think it's like, for instance, if you're putting in a boxing ring, like a transgender versus a girl, and maybe they're both girls, or but like one used to whatever. I don't know how that'd be, but like. And a lot of people won't approve that, in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like different limitations to things, right?
Yeah.
I'm all for people accepting who they are. Everything that people do is their business. Mm-hmm. But then when I hear things about like for babies being born, they shouldn't be born with a gender. Have you guys heard that? Where like when babies are born, they'll get to pick their gender when they're older. That's taking it too far for me.
That's a very bizarre concept, but I mean, like, living in an open society, like, how it was from like us in the 90s and the early 2000s, where, even just like the movies and things like that were, presented to us differently. Like now, like just to see kind of all this stuff, it's going to be a lot of like changes, especially like when it comes to birth, having like families that are, parents that are transgender or whatever, and having to, have them choose their kids, gender. That's like, that's new in society.
No, that's true. Dom, what do you think about all that?
So like, so there's a few states, probably like a handful of states that have legalized same-sex marriage. I think it's pretty dope. So like growing up, that was definitely highly unacceptable as far as like, being.
It wasn't unacceptable, but it was less acceptable, I guess.
Less accepted in society.
Less accepted.
That's how I would put it.
Yeah, it was less accepted. But I was speaking African American community.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely, it was not acceptable from what I've seen and how I was brought up. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you two instances where I have had a conversation with a girl of mine, and at the time I was less educated, I was closed-minded. This was like 6 years ago. So we're riding in New York, and she asked me, what were you to do if our boy, say if we had a kid, turned out to be gay? So at the time, I was like, fuck no, that wouldn't happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she starts screaming at me. She's ready to turn back from New York. We're probably like an hour away from New York, 3-hour drive in. You know what I'm saying? That's a day that I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Moments like that in anyone's life, you know, if an answer or a response can draw that much of emotion out of anyone, no matter what it is, you should do your research or, you know, look a little bit into it.
Yeah.
So like ever since that day, I've definitely looked at it like that is something I definitely should, you know, be a little bit more educated in. As far as the whole legalizing marriage, same sex, I don't care. You do what you want, you know what I'm saying? The way I look at a free world,
Yeah.
you should be able to do whatever you want. Because if I'm able to date Sally, why can't Sally date Sally, or why can't Ben date Ben?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you know, they're not, I guess, stepping their boundaries as far as touching me or anything like that. Like, we cool. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I talk to them. They're human.
The
like
same
us.
is human. It's the same thing. Where it's not like, you know, anything different. But,
Yeah. So yeah.
That's how it would end this. Like, love is love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's hetero, homo.
Mm.
Love is love at the end of the day. And if it's not your preference, then it's not your preference, you know?
But I do really do believe that like it's always a topic of conversation because of generations. Like growing up, how like, you know, my parents or my grandparents and all that stuff and like my ancestors, that's just not, you know, fond of. Obviously there was just, you know, dividing, you know, society, communities, all that just in the past, like just overall. So just seeing it grow and it was just frowned upon to be just anything on that, you know, on the pride community. So for it to grow a lot and to see it, like, I mean, I remember when I was younger, I would go to work in DC and I just remember there's a side or whatever of like where it was like more of the community was at. It was really small. It's like just like literally just like a straight like neighborhood. Now it's a whole like they got the whole side like northeast, like they're doing their thing. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. And DuPont used to be like the spot for like, you know, for I think they don't know if people go there anymore because DuPont's not that fun as it used to be. But
yeah. And for real, we can end it on this. Like, let's be honest. Like the friends that I have had, the gay friends that I have had, that I have happened to go out with or meet out, you know, out and about, or just, you know, just met for the first time. They be lit. They be fun.
Yeah.
You know
they be vibing.
Straight dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'd be a vibe every time that I've, you know, had that encounter with them. So like, I'm like, whatever, have fun, do your thing. It's whatever.
Some of my homies be chilling on the side of the wall in the bar and like be looking like some weirdos. So like, you know, you need some diversification to kind of give the, you know, openness of like, you know, the conversation.
Yeah. So, it's nice to have gay friends, you know.
So we're speaking about, you know, Nikita Dragon. She was just I was looking at her Twitter. She was just saying she said damn it. I think she was like trans women are women too. And she just went not a rant, but she, you know, she was getting her shit off. So after that, I know she's probably somewhat depressed or just feeling like, you know.
Yeah.
What I just want to, you know, how do you guys cope? What's your coping mechanism with like mental health when you're feeling down or when you're going through a rut and you just feel like fuck it today or a fuck it week? You know what I'm saying? You're just off of everything. What do y'all normally lean towards? Do y'all have any like habits y'all like to do? Anything y'all like to do? Hobbies?
You know, I kind of fell into a funk, and this is gonna sound like stupid, but being with my friends, like my closest, my best friends for the past 3 weeks, literally from the end of May till now, I've always been surrounded by people I love. And once it all left, it kind of was like a back to reality. And I just kind of felt in a funk, like, you know, when you have guests and stuff, but then the first time you come back into your apartment, it's quiet. It's just you. Yeah. So the next day I was just like, well, damn, you know, I've had such a great time for the past 3 weeks with all my girls and stuff. And now it's just me. I'm supposed to be like meal prepping and going to the gym and cooking and cleaning. But I was just kind of in a funk where I was like, you know what? Let me not do anything, because in your mind, you want to constantly be like productive to keep everything going, you know, to get your mind off of it. But there's a time where you just want to shut down. So I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to text, call anyone. I just like put on a good show that I've been watching, and then a movie, just been in my PJs all day. And that's how I kind of cope with it. Just like kind of taking myself out of the situation and just chilling.
Yeah.
So the next day, it's like you give yourself a day just to relax and do whatever without feeling guilty. Like I was like, oh, where the chips at, the snacks, let me just eat whatever, not feel guilty. But then the next day I'm like, all right, like let's put some music on, let's start cleaning, let's hit the gym. So I think for me, I don't like to really talk to anyone. If I'm in a mood, I just put my phone down and I just watch TV and have some like me time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for mental health, like to me, it's just like I get anxious a lot, and I there's like a lot of like, I overthink. I do a lot of that. So best thing to cope for that for me is usually the gym. That just kind of gives me the serotonin I need, kind of like that runner's high, after post gym high, like it just feels good. So I'll usually do that for most of the time. But like if I'm really, really in my thoughts and I'm trying to think, like it could just be like, maybe a new business idea or like, just stressed out with life or whatever. I'll just jump in the whip at, it'll be a nighttime and I'll just be cruising. Maybe like on the highway, go for a drive, just listen to music, just vibe. Yeah. And I said, like, that's how I clear my thoughts. Or like what you say, like on some alone time type stuff, like just kick it on the couch and just, I don't got to worry about anything else.
Yeah, that's dope. See, with me, it depends on what it is. Like, so we'll go with this current situation I'm in now. I've said it multiple times. Working on a project will later be announced. What I'm doing or what I'm working on, but I was working on it for like 3 months, and I kind of skipped a few steps along the process. My friend called me out. And she was just like, why are you working on it every single day? You know what I'm saying? You need to have some you time. So I was like, all right, fuck it. That's why I went to Tampa. And then after Tampa, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get back to it. And I ain't do shit the following week. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm somewhat in a rut, but like I'm starting to get back to it. So me is like, with that aspect, as far as working on a project, what I like to do is I like to watch like motivational videos and like
inspirational.
Yeah. I like doing that to get me back in that mode, get back into the gym. Not every day, because that's not the main focus that I'm focused on right now. But yeah, just that. And yeah, that's probably a little bit it as far as what I'm in right now. But in another light, it used to be like playing video games or just going out and just, rid of that.
It's true what they say, Dom, when the people are like, you need a vacation from your vacation, because being on a vacation when you're constantly on the go, it's tiring. Literally, I was up till 3 or 4 in the morning every night for the past like 2 weeks and waking up at like 9 for the next activity. These past couple days, I've been sleeping 12 to 13 hours. Like I feel like a baby. Like, you know what I mean? You just need a little bit of that time just to like get
tired,
your body
though.
back.
You look good.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like you look like you normally look on the pod.
It's because I slept like a baby. I slept 13 hours last night. I woke up, actually 12. I went to bed at midnight and I woke up at noon.
12 to 12.
That shit. That sounds like me Sunday.
My weekends look like that though. On the weekdays, I'll sleep at like 2 or 3 a.m. and wake up at like 8 or 7.
Right. Well, speaking of Sundays, so next Sunday is Father's Day, and I gotta give a shout out and a happy Father's Day to Father Alexander Cooper. The Daddy Gang will know who that is. I don't know if she calls herself the father. I don't know if you guys are hip.
I'm not hip.
Call her Daddy.
Yeah.
So she is the founding father, Alexander Cooper, of the podcast Call Her Daddy. It's one of the number one podcast, especially for females. I used to listen to Call Her Daddy religiously, and I know a lot of my girls have too. And if you're not familiar with that podcast, basically it's a podcast that was created by 2 girls, Alex and Sophia. And it's about kind of like sex and relationship advice. And I mean, they go deep. They teach you how to, the Gluck 9000. They teach you they talk about crazy stuff that you're just like real shit, where it's like, damn, okay, I'm gonna try that next time I see my man or something, But since then, some news has come out. So if you guys aren't aware, that Alex and Sophia, they split a few months ago because of like monetary, not budgeting, but like who was getting paid more, etc. And they split, and Alex was the one who took ownership and Sophia left. But since then, Alex has been doing so well and has had guests like Miley Cyrus, Mia Khalifa on the show, and talks more than sex this time, talks more like regaining your power as a woman, self-love, mental health, which has been, awesome to hear. So she was usually on just like the podcast. I don't know what platforms she was on, but the platform we all know, Spotify. She just got a $60 million deal with Spotify starting like July 21st. Mm-hmm. Can you guys imagine from 2018, just starting a podcast like we're doing, chilling, talking, but obviously they had a niche, right? Like sex, relationship, and becoming a multimillionaire off of it within a 5-year span.
That's wild. I mean, we were saying earlier, like 6 million would be like, that's still a game changer to me. Something like you're probably just doing right out of your house or whatever. But like 60 mil
over 3 years.
3 years, Spotify, like, damn, congratulations. That's a big deal.
I know.
That's like an NBA contract,
Yeah, because she was with Barstool Sports for a while.
So that's crazy how that whole thing works. So she's not a part of that anymore. Mm-mm. She's okay.
Mm-mm. And I think Sophia has like her own podcast. I haven't even looked. I heard she does. A lot of people are on Alex's side because during the Call Her Daddy podcast, she tells her side of the story. Mm-hmm. And the Barstool president Dave, he also tells his side of the story. And how like Sophia was dating this like CEO and said she needed more money, but Alex was like, well, I do most of the editing and I'm the one who comes with the ideas, so it's not fair. And good for Alex, honestly. Like I know they were best friends at a point, but then they became business partners, and that's where it kind of gets complicated when your best friend is your business partner.
Hard. It's hard
and
to
you don't agree.
Yeah, friends and even just family and business. It's so difficult to have like that dynamic and be able to be pure the whole time, because you guys are, it's just, it's always like, that's just like a tall tale. Everyone always talks about like when business, it's like, just watch out when with family and friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, to speak in what you're saying of the whole Alexandria, her being like, doing the editing and doing all the tasks and stuff, doing a podcast isn't easy. Like there's a lot to it that, that's behind the scenes. Like Dom's probably doing it for us, that like, having to put it together, having to upload and all stuff. And so, I mean, when it comes to having to split the check, it probably could have been more. She should have had the conversation with Sophia.
I mean, and I'm sure they did, but I guess Sophia wanted more of the cut or something like that. And I couldn't imagine. I mean, that's crazy. But look at her now.
We get people Alex involved to that shit.
Doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. Being a fellow podcaster like ourselves, just seeing the amount of money that I would say is Spotify $1 billion company? You say that, right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Let's call it $1 billion company. Giving out money to a podcast, let alone one person led podcast, or that much money. It's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, we're doing it for as a hobby, for fun, but a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That gives us something to like look towards to. You never know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? You never know until you start trying. But
your light just turned on.
One thing, whose light?
Her light.
I don't know. My light turned off.
She got Casper in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty dope. But one thing that intrigued me about it was that they started in 2018 and boom, 2021 run me that check. Mm-hmm. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, do you think you could have like if you had to have a podcast, right? Or if you was given the option to have a podcast by yourself, do you think you could do it?
I think I can do it. I just don't think I'll have enough ideas or topics to talk about. But if it's something that I'm really passionate about, or if I found like what the niche is at, then maybe like where the audience is like, liking to hear more often, like if it was a financial advice or like, investing or something like that, then it would be good. But like if you were to ask me to talk about like some type of pop culture, I would probably be like, I could only go so far.
Yeah. Right. It's like limited with one person because you want to have people that have different perspectives and different opinions. And then you can feed off of that and develop your own, perspective and opinions off of that. So I feel like maybe I could, but like Toke said, it would be limited. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the thought of just hearing my voice by myself, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be listening back.
I think all of us have good voices and else. Like we all low key got like slight radio voice podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's
really?
not like an annoying voice. Like if you had an annoying voice, you would be annoying. Like you just would not.
This is like side comment, but growing up, like obviously I have a really unique, different voice. And I hated it because people used to make fun of me all the time. Like my teachers at high school would make fun of me. Like
they'd be frying your voice.
They'd be frying my voice. So they go, "Oh, I'm Christina." And I'm like, damn. Like I know my voice is deeper and raspier than most girls. So I think to this day, like when I play back our videos, I'm like, why do I sound like that? But I try to get over it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's hard when it's a past trauma. People made fun of me for growing up, and now everyone I meet, they're like, "I love your voice." Like, I bet you know how to sing. I'm like,
you're like, "Are you lying to me? You better not be lying to me."
Yeah. To answer my question, I think only way I can do it is if like I had a fuck ton of money and I was just like out here not working a 9 to 5 and I was just doing shit.
Yeah.
But I think I could possibly do it if I had to. That would be dope.
I would do more of probably like a
interview
video.
And
I could do that too. I could do that. But like if I were to do something along the lines of like social media or like, that podcasty feel, it'd be more of like a video, like, like in person type of like podcast. So like it's a visual, like you'll see it, like it's more like actual episodes on a, on YouTube or like on like a TV show or something like that.
You wouldn't even fuck with like audio.
No, I mean the audio will still be there, but like it's mainly visual. You can hear it if you're driving or any type of stuff. It'll be like well versed. Everyone's gonna be able to hear it, but you're able to. It's mainly to see as like a show. Like if you were to watch like a basketball game, you can also hear a basketball game and know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But you would obviously prefer to watch it.
Right.
I don't feel you, but I feel you.
I do. I got you.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Right here.
So like say for instance,
you can see me and you can hear me too. Like what you talking about?
So like okay. So like it would be like a studio, or it would be like a how Joe Rogan has like his shit. Or I'm pretty
you would have to do a real podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So
speaking of podcast, the Rory and Mal podcast just dropped 2 days ago.
I didn't get to hear the episode. Did you?
Yeah. So going into it before, what did you think about it before they launched? Like, do you like? Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was phenomenal because, it's empowering because they probably just like in their head, they're probably saying like, we should do this. So they don't think that we needed Joe Budden to do this.
Yeah. I think that had a little bit to do with it. Do you think it's going to be a hit? Because it'll be hot for at least a month. They got a month to be hot. But after that, it's possible they could be like, we ain't fucking with that.
It's definitely going to be a challenge because, like, with Joe Budden being like the main guy on that show, he was definitely the personality. So when you get Rory and all that bouncing off of it, now they're Dolo. It was like, the sidekicks are becoming the superhero. Like that's where like that's the drawing line. That's where the challenge is.
It's almost like a spin-off of like the main characters. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. Yeah.
So people still will listen. I know this takes me back. I'm going to sound like a child, but I know some of you guys know the show like iCarly.
Yeah.
And Victorious back in Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like teenager going into college. The two co-stars like Ariana Grande who played Kat, and then Sam Puckett, which was like Jeanette McCurdy.
Mm-hmm.
They had a spinoff called Sam and Cat. on
really?
Nickelodeon. Yeah, this is when I was a little bit older, so I was like, I didn't really watch it because I was like, this it might be a little bit lame. But people were watching it because they were
They
familiar with
knew.
those two
Yeah.
characters,
Yeah.
and they kept their same characters in the show.
Oh, that's cool. So like they morphed the universe, like
Exactly,
the two different
exactly.
show universes.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it might. I think it might work out. Like you said, Dom. Like it might be a hit, but they have to develop like big
So-
personalities and stuff.
At the end of the pod, they hinted at it's not gonna be your regular podcast. So Rory just came out with an interview by himself without Mal. So it's like Mal's gonna be doing his own thing and Rory's gonna be doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like about to be like almost like two channels within one. So it's pretty interesting to see what they're gonna do because Mal, he's like a cool guy, so you never know what he's about to do. So
that's actually a mad cool
excited to see.
concept, though. That's a mad cool concept to have like a tree of podcasters and then the branches out into different segments. That's pretty cool. I like that concept a lot, actually.
We'll see because they was out in LA. I guess getting pods off or episodes off. But speaking of LA, so. You guys have y'all heard of like the celebrity boxing? Like you said earlier, Messina, you said with the YouTube versus
it was like YouTube
Austin
versus
McBroom.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Who was in Mayweather versus one of the
Logan
Paul
Paul.
brothers,
Yeah.
Logan Paul.
the DDG / YouTuber versus another guy.
Mm-hmm.
You had Lamar Odom versus
Aaron Carter. Yeah, so it was celebrities. It wasn't really just TikTok versus YouTube.
Oh,
right?
I wasn't even hip to all those other ones.
Yeah.
This all happened within like 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. Like with the world coming back open, I guess they've been waiting for this to happen.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about celebrity boxing? Do you think it's gonna be like a solid, lucrative trend that'll, happen over time, or is this just a moment?
Okay, so random before I answer this question. Is it always taking place on a Sunday? Is it always like shown on a Sunday? Like those several, because I know this recent one was on a Sunday.
Some of them was on Saturday, some was on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just off topic because I would say if they really try to claim the Sunday like day for their entertainment or like their, that would be
multiple
wild.
networks though. There was
okay.
It was Triller, it was Showtime, and then it was another one. But yeah, it was all types of shit. But what you think?
I mean, we live in this world for entertainment. That's literally it. So like, having a shit talk like with Jake Paul shit talking Floyd and boasting that whole fight up and all that stuff. Like I think it's not the best thing to have, but like it's definitely something that like people are going to be looking forward to seeing just because like it's just foolishness. It's just like like the peak of Instagram, like when everyone were like just doing dumb shit just all the time to get like millions of views and all that stuff. Do you remember that? Like Boot Gang and all of them or 6ix9ine just doing all those craziness just to get. I feel like it's along the lines like that. It's just like not a clout chasing, but like it's networking on a whole like skyrocket level.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead, Dom.
I wouldn't say it's in that same boat because boxing is safe.
Boxing is safe, but like Aaron Carter versus Lamar Odom, you can't tell me that's safe.
Aaron Carter was talking shit first, though.
I know, but like that's what I'm saying. These people are gonna get them. I mean, it's probably never gonna get to the point where someone's getting knocked out to the point where like it gets serious. You never know. But like to me, I just think like it's just meant to like bring awareness to their names a little bit more.
I'll say one. Okay, go. My fault, Mercy.
No, I was just gonna ask. So I don't know why specifically boxing. Maybe it's because it's a one-on-one. Why not basketball? They've had like people have had basketball like tournaments and stuff like with celebrities.
Yeah.
But boxing, I'm thinking like I'm trying to think as a boxer, like would I be offended that like if I was a boxer and I've been boxing my whole life, now these celebrities, influencers want to box and they only train for like 2 weeks and then fight? Or is it like, damn, yeah, they're finally putting a name to boxing, kind of getting my sport out there. How would you guys feel?
No, I mean, look at Floyd. Floyd, he's a boxer and he decided to fight against Logan Paul. I mean, like
That's true.
And
in that realm, I would say I wouldn't even call Floyd's a boxer, but he's also a go-getter as in for the money.
I mean, and he literally said it in one of his interviews. He was like, "You can't get mad at me for making bread. Like, you can't get mad at me for finding different ways to, flip my money and all that stuff." He was saying that I was watching him in like Miami. There was like a Bitcoin conference, whatever. He was there. He was a speaker for one of like the cryptocurrency things. So it was funny to see that. But yeah, he was just like, everyone was like, "So how do you feel about your fight that's about to come up with Logan and all that stuff?" And he was just like, "It is what it is. Like, I'm about to get a bag out of it." Like,
yeah, I think it's dope, but some people are saying it's a detriment to the sport because anybody can get into it. But to answer your question, Marcina, as far as why boxing, why not basketball, it has to be boxing because I think boxing is the only thing you can train at within 6 weeks and halfway look somewhat decent. Like basketball, you gotta put years, and you can't just pick that shit up. And it's, you know what I'm saying? And you're playing against they're boxing against people that never boxed before, have somewhat of a small background.
The atmosphere for
people like seeing people get fucked up.
Yeah, so the atmosphere for boxing is a little bit different than basketball. It's a lot more competitive. You're whooping somebody's ass, basically.
Like, I'm not watching that.
So yeah, so like if you're seeing it like on the rink, like them back to like up together, that's like more serious than like seeing Aaron Carter cross up Lamar Odom. Like, that'd be great.
And they talking shit, like all these antics and shit like that. But last thing I'll say on this, I think it's very dope. Hopefully it will be a trend because for one, let's just say for the Aaron Carter and Lamar Odom, right? I didn't watch the fight. I don't care about Lamar Odom or Aaron Carter, but people that actually follow them are gonna watch that. So all these people got millions of followers, whether they're fake or not. Let's just say they got 500K followers. 200,000, maybe 50,000 of them are gonna watch that fight.
I think like they just
money. You can get money off that shit.
It's gonna be, but I think it's just going to.
Think it's gonna die down.
It's just it has to get out. It's gonna be they constantly have to find crazy like picks, crazy like mix ups, and if they don't, and it's just gonna. I just think it's gonna get outrageous. Like,
if they get rappers on this shit, because Little Baby and Charlamagne was talking about it, and Charlamagne was like, the rappers wouldn't do that shit. Like, he was like, if the rappers had balls like the YouTubers, I would love to see it, but I don't think the rappers got balls. And Lil Baby was like, shit, I'll help set that shit up. We can do it. You know what I'm saying? So
some people will like
that should be lit.
That's the only way.
We grew up on Celebrity Deathmatch. I don't know if y'all used to watch that shit. But
I did.
The little Play-Doh shit, and it was fake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that shit was hilarious.
Hitting the walk on, like, whooping niggas' ass. Like, shit was dope. If this is real live shit, like, that shit would be hype, I think. But
they just have to find a way to like organize it properly, because that's what they're doing right now. But like, since this is such a a raw concept, even though it's been brought up before, but no one's actually put it into reality. This is just like I say, it could get like out of hand really fast, and or it could just
it could lead to some other things. But
it's
I was just gonna say, don't rappers and artists have their like versus battles on Instagram? Did that die down already?
Nah, it's still going.
It's still going,
but it has slowed down a little bit.
It's older acts. I wouldn't say it slowed down. They still got them, but people are just outside. Like, they got Trina and Eve, I think, this Saturday. Lil Bow Wow and Soulja Boy in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm watching that one.
Okay, so it's still going then.
It's definitely still going.
But aren't they still figuring out? Like, isn't Versus like still trying to figure out if they're gonna like sell?
They already sold it.
Who they sell it to?
I want to say Apple, but I could be lying.
It could be.
Or Triller. I think it was Triller. Fuck it. Y'all can.
Yeah. We'll look it up later.
Y'all as in the people that's watching this shit. All right, so I got somebody DM'd us and wanted us to ask this question. Why do men or women like to hold on to men or women they don't want a relationship with? So to make sense, why do men hold on to women they don't want a relationship with, or why do women hold on to men they don't want a relationship with?
Or why do men hold on to men they don't want a relationship, or why do women hold on to relationships with women they don't want to? Come on, Dom, it's 5 months. Get together.
It's true.
Shit crazy. I forgot.
It's just the significant other, like people you're talking to. Why are you holding on to them when you know you don't want a relationship?
They're not a significant other if you ain't trying to have
okay, not yet. Yeah, you're right.
Back at you. Pew, pew. All right. You can go, Toke. Toxic Toke.
I'm really bad with closure. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to like end something like a normal person, and I feel like for me personally, I don't know, like to speak on behalf of myself, it's just like once you're in the situation, you're kind of like, damn, like we were just talking about earlier, like you talking to someone for like 6 months and then you realize like, damn, I didn't want to be in this relationship this whole time, but like I'm talking, I don't know, it's just probably what's mentally in my head at that moment. I was probably just thinking like, dang, like this is a nice vibe, this is cool, it's good connection, like I need this, all this stuff. But also on the other side of my head, I'm thinking like, this ain't going nowhere, this ain't gonna do anything.
Yep.
That's the toxic side of Toke. Like that's just how I am. Like, and I don't know, when that happens, I tend to kind of like, I drift away. I kind of just like ghost a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the worst way. If you guys are listening to this, is the worst way to do it. But like, I just kind of like, I'm gone. Like, yeah, I'll say the nice things. I'll do a few nice things towards the end. You'll start seeing I'll probably just like add a few, and then I'm kind of like, I'm out. Like,
okay, you're fucking and ducking. All right, next.
If you're saying it like that, then yes, I'm trying to be generous about it. Well, you were trying. I was trying to let someone take my spot after I was done.
Next, we're off you. All right, so for a general aspect, I'll speak for people that. I'll speak for some guys or some girls, because girls could be doing the same thing. I think it just falls down to greed. You know what I'm saying? We live in a transactional era where this guy could be giving me this and that. Why would I leave this when the other person in my DM is not giving me $1? You know what I'm saying? People try to soak up as much as they can to get, to reap the benefits without really giving too much back. So it's almost like, if I ain't really doing too much, giving too much of my heart and my emotions, why leave? You know what I'm saying? With me, I don't think I fall in this. Why do men hold on? Because I'm very transparent. All the girls that I've ended it with, I'm still cool with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you have to be transparent in the beginning. You can't lead people down a path thinking that they're gonna get the whole you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I can't give you any examples when you need to stand up and say stuff, but you just got to know when to not let shit slide. You know what I'm saying? So like, for instance, if you walking with the girl in public and she try to hold your hand, fry the hand. Don't hold the hand. You know what I'm saying?
Don't keep on adding more water to it.
Yeah. When they leaving, they try to kiss you, duck that shit. Like, don't just do it because they want you to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna kiss you. That's another story. But all right, Messina, what you think, man?
Well, what I think is I don't necessarily think it's like greed. I just feel like, I guess I'll speak for the women's side. We stay with a guy that we don't want to be in a relationship with just to see how far it can go, like to see the potential, because us women love seeing the potential in people constantly. And then sometimes it's not there, sometimes it is there. But then again, it goes for like, if you're talking for so long, you take a step back and you're just like, I don't want to be in the talking phase for 6 to 9 months. Like, if I know what I want, I'm gonna let you know. But between those like few months, we're gonna have fun, and I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna be transparent. I think the key word here is transparency.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'll visit you, you visit me, I'll take you on this day, you take me on this day, we can kiss, we can do whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't want anything, right?
Whatever the true intentions are, the true intentions.
Exactly. You kind of, at the very beginning, you set like the boundaries, you set expectations.
Try to.
Yes.
Sometimes that shit is hard.
So, but see, like, you're saying all of that, but most of the times it ends up being like, it doesn't turn out that way, which has happened so many times.
Oh, it has. I'm sure it has too. But speaking for myself, I like to set boundaries because I will admit I'm a flirt. And
what boundaries you be setting, Marcina?
What?
What boundaries you be setting?
not boundaries, but like expectations.
Got it.
Mainly. So it's like, and then the thing is, then I start thinking about it and like, I don't want to waste your time. And if I think you're done wasting my time, then it's like time to like cut it out.
Yeah, see, like for me, I'm very transparent in the beginning. So like,
Mm-hmm.
but like I think it's, and I always say society because it is, but we all play a lot of games. That's just how it is. That's just the name of the game. If it was transparency.
Don't say we all. Don't say we all.
No, if you had a clean slate.
Say people. Say some people. Some of us.
People.
Some
the
of them.
The human race.
Some of them like to play games.
The human race
don't put us in
has developed the game mentality when it comes to dating. If you talk about dating apps, you're talking about just in general, just the like dating in general. We've talked about this in other episodes. It's changed completely. It's all about games essentially. If it's like just like right at the ballpark, like I'm talking about just a guaranteed dub, then everyone would be married at this moment. Everyone would be fine, but it's not, because everyone has different mentalities, has different perspectives, which means their games are different, which means the way they handle things are differently. It's just how it is. It's life. Like you're going to get carried by someone, but there's probably the next joint you talk to, you're probably going to carry the shit out of her. That's just how it works. Yeah.
Oh yeah, been there. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if it was something where everyone's on the same page, then yeah, it would be full circle. Everything would be full circle, but it's not.
Do y'all we don't have to get too deep in your personal thing, but answer the question if you like. Do y'all like to put a limit on things? Like for instance, in my head personally, like I always say, I'm not a relationship guy, as in I'm a relationship guy, but I am not very well equipped, well knowledgeable, well experienced with serious relationships or something getting close to a serious relationship. Mm-hmm. But I like to say I give it, if we've been talking for
what's y'all's count?
Let's say 4 to 5 months, and we've been in the same boat and we ain't get further to like let's date, cutting it off type shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? I think 4 to 5 months, if y'all don't really know where you are, what's the point of the relationship? What do y'all think about that? Is that somewhat logical, or people need time? You'll still believe in the I don't know what I want type shit. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm setting limitations, or if I'm already like seeing it in that perspective, then it was probably not serious in the beginning. That's just how I see it. Like if it's running 6 months and I'm just like letting it float for 6 months, then I'm probably just like, it's not that serious.
For sure.
Yeah. So
no, I agree. It's like I have nothing else to say, but I agree with that statement. It's like I'm not the only one being in like situationships, but yeah, if you know, huh?
I have too. I've been in it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people have been in situationships where you kind of feel it out at first, like, oh, I don't know what I want, blah, blah, blah. But, especially now for me personally, moving to a new city. And the thing is, I can be a relationship girl too. I like being in a relationship. I like, being booed up. Like who doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. We're at that age where we want to be. But moving to a new city, chilling with your friends, meeting new people, it just makes me want to
do more things.
A committed relationship, So.
For sure. Yeah, I've definitely been in a situation where I was into a girl and wasn't too fond, or her family wasn't too fond of, let's just say me, don't have to get too specific, but I caught myself and I was just like, bruh, what the fuck am I doing? I'm wasting time, wasting money. It was cool. We was around the 5-6 months period, and I just we weren't really going anywhere. And I was just like, all right, fuck it. Like, it's no point. Like, sex was good. Every time I was with her, it was cool. But like, if we ain't doing shit, if you ain't trying to take it to the next level, I'm cooling.
You just gotta look at the bigger picture.
For sure. Because I look at all my relationships, well, not all of my relationships, but a good amount of them, I've learned something from them. Like, if you can get out of a relationship unscathed, as in, it wasn't too emotionally strong or tied to that person, and you can get out and learn from it, that's low-key a dub. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I've learned so much about, girl tendencies that I don't and do like, because I look at it as the relationships, like, think of it like, I had Xfinity Wars or whatever, you got your boom, the the green ring, the yellow ring, the red ring, the blue ring, all that.
Are
shit.
you talking about the Infinity
Stones?
You talking about
The Infinity Stones?
Are you talking about from Avengers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
okay,
is he talking?
okay. I thought you talking about mood stones. I was like, what are you
Is he
talking
talking about Thanos?
Yeah, you talking about Thanos.
Thanos, yeah. So I look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship you get into, you just, every lesson that you get is an Infinity Stone. And then one of them motherfuckers gonna be the right one. So then you'll have all your Infinity Stones. So I just look at everything as a lesson. So like I'm very appreciative of all the girls that I've, had relationships with, had fun with.
But Dom, it's not just you looking at like girls' tendencies and what girls want. You got to look at what you want, like shit that you let fly and shit that you won't let fly. You learn more about like what you want. Yeah. Like I could already tell you right now off the bat, I like top 3 things I hate on men is like I hate insecurity, I hate jealousy, and I hate controlling. Yeah. And if I get a lick of it from somebody, I'm like, whoop, red flag, like no. And that's what I learned from my previous relationships.
Yeah. Got you. You got your shit down. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your 3 that you like? You can't stand. I ain't got my shit like that. She ready.
It's difficult. Taste in music is probably one, and dancing, like rhythm. Like it's not like something where it's like a make or break, but it's a big turn off to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's kind of it's hard for me. But or not really good sense of humor. That's probably like a game changer for me. They don't have a sense of humor or can understand my sense of humor. That's probably like,
yeah.
That's definitely one for sure.
But I'm very sarcastic, so if they can't understand my sarcasm, I feel like it just won't work in general. Because I'm that's something I would have to change. And I'm just way too sarcastic as a person.
Yeah, if you can't handle me talking shit to you, we can't take it a step forward, honey. Because I talk a lot of shit.
But that's the thing that you guys don't have to like get rid of. Like that's who you are. That's who as a person. Maybe tone it down a little bit because maybe I'll be doing the most sometimes, but it's like compromise. Don't be like, okay, I'll take it off completely. Just like, all right, tone it out a little bit.
Then we'd be doing the most.
Huh?
That was
doing the most.
That was shot.
That was a shot.
No,
that's crazy.
I'm just saying, y'all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
So y'all probably do the most sometimes. So y'all just gotta tone it down a little bit.
But see, I don't be talking shit to you though.
Yeah, that's wild. Why'd you go ahead? Why'd you go for our neck like that? We didn't even do
never seen my talking shit side. I be chilling around you. Shit's crazy. Taking shots.
Anyways,
that
wraps up this episode of
Talk to Me.